This is an overview of the quest Thwarting the Twins, which is only available once the Mage Tower is unlocked and active on the Broken Shore. Now, essentially with this quest, you get given the option to do a scenario where you have to kill Raest and Karam. Now, you are able to attempt this once a day for free, obviously while the Mage Tower is active, but after that it will cost you 100 nether shards per attempt. This probably is something that you're very unlikely to one-shot, so it's definitely something that you want to pretty much stack up a good few nether shards for. Now this fight essentially has, in my eyes, two phases. In retrospect, it's more like 4 phases, and a lot of people qualify it as 4. Now, you essentially will be fighting in turns Karam or Raest. Now, when the fight begins, you will start by fighting Karam, which is essentially phase 1. This is a kiting fight. Now, when I say that, you literally have to kite all the mobs that you're actually going to be fighting. If you actually try to tank it or soak any damage from them, you will pretty much die straight away. It's not something that you can take the damage from. Now, in phase 1 with Karam, you only have essentially 2 abilities to be mindful of. Rising Dragon and Unrelenting. Now, Rising Dragon, he essentially twirls a sword in the air, inflicting, I think it's 3 million damage to everyone around him within 10 yards, and also knocking them back. So if you've got over 3 million health, yeah, you can take a hit. If not, it's going to one-shot you. So again, you have to maintain that distance from him. And the second thing is just Unrelenting. Now, Unrelenting is something that is just going to happen throughout the fight. It's not really something you can watch or interrupt. It's just something that's, you know, it's going to happen. And it's just part of the actual NPC's mechanics. Now, essentially, all you have to do is burning down without taking, well, preferably any hits, to 35%, I believe, and which will prompt phase 2. Now, phase 2 is when you start fighting Raest. Now, Raest actually has very few abilities. He only actually has Shadow Bolt, but he will spawn Shadowy Vistage and also Shadowy Fiends. Now, essentially, these are things that need to be AoE down and also slowed as much as possible. Again, they will inflict a significant amount of damage to you as time goes on. And in all honesty, you're probably going to get one shot if you get hit by them. Once you have, I can't remember the exact point where he actually, so I think it's 50% health, where he'd actually then goes into phase 3. If I'm wrong about this, feel free to correct me. Where you go back to fighting Karam again. Now, the only difference with this time is that Karam will have healed back up during the Purgatory, which essentially is what prompts phase 2. Now, the only difference in spells is he gets Grasp from Beyond, and from time to time you're going to see a hand spawn somewhere in the room which has 4 million health and will deal a significant amount of damage to you, so you want to kill that straight away. Once, if I'm correct, you have burnt him down to 35% health again, you continue to fight Raest. Now Raest goes into his second set of abilities, which also includes Rune of Summoning. What will happen is throughout the room you'll see like a small rune appear on the floor. You need to stand in it and soak it essentially. While you're standing in it, it will shrink until the point it disappears. Now if you don't do that, what will happen is a Thing of Nightmare will spawn with 110 million health, which is not great if you really don't want to have to kite something around the room, because this thing is obviously just as bad as trying to kill Karam, or even worse essentially than killing Karam or Raest. So you really need to get to that as soon as possible. To be honest, if you don't get to it in time, you've pretty much lost this. So that is very much key to this. Now, you need on average, I think if I'm correct, at least 500,000 to 1 million DPS to actually be able to do this. So you need approximately an item level of about 900. I've seen people do it with less. Obviously, I'm considerably less. But I'm going to give this a shot anyway. I'm more than likely going to fail. If I do ever do this, you'll see a little eye in the top right hand corner of the screen, which will give you an indication that I have finally killed it. That eye will probably never appear. But I hope you find this somewhat useful anyway, and I'm going to give this a go just to show you what the fight is actually like. You want to start with keeping at some distance from Karam. Now, it's obviously important to maintain that your abilities all have sort of like some slowing effect. And the second this fight starts, I'm going to try and hit him with a blizzard, or at least get a blizzard going. You know when the fight's about to start because he will actually turn red, but obviously he won't be attackable straight away. Let's see, actually, standing back here a bit might be useful. Remember, you've got the whole room to kite, so try and maintain the use of this space effectively. There we go. Right, so he should be starting very shortly. Alright, come on. Whoops, that was a screw up. Yeah, sorry, you can do things like Nova, which would have ended up so badly. Oh, I forgot to also mention, during Purgatory, while Karim is in his little bubble, do not enter it, or again, you will die. You should also try and use Nova as best as possible, especially if you're doing this as a Frost Mage, and not hit him until you actually have got some distance from him, which is not exactly what I am doing. So, ooh, shit the bed sideways. There you go. And that's why you do not get hit by him. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that with a great effect. But I hope you found that somewhat useful and informative. And good luck with your own attempts. And I will catch you next time.